Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Yvonne from Ginger Chick Rehab. So glad to have you back checking out what Chris and I are up to. So in today's video, yep, this is the weekly thrift haul. It's been weekly, it's just amazing. So yep, this is what I have found when I've been out thrifting. And I believe this week I didn't go out of town at all. I just, every day going to my local Goodwill. These are the items I found to share with you all, to resell, and then of course to make over. Know until I show you the haul what I'm going to make over, because it's kind of like a surprise. I remember picking it up, but then days later I forget. So actually today I didn't even have anything out of the bag, so I'm just gonna share with you all what I found. So we'll grab this bag right here. So I ran across this quilt. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that. It has, oh, now I gotta show you. It has this little saying on it. This quilt was made with love and gratitude. May it protect you from the cold and the comfort in your times of need. Thank you for all your sacrifice you have given. Quilt of Valor, quilts of Valor, Mercy Bay County Quilters Guild, Oregon, Ohio, 2009. So yes, this was a handmade quilt. Must have gave it to a soldier. It's definitely the Americana. Oh my gosh, it is just absolutely gorgeous. I love quilts, but I don't run across them very often. So this one was $9.99, but as you all know, how much time and effort comes into a quilt, that it is well worth the $9.99 for me to pick it up. If you're wondering, will I resell it? Yes, I will resell it. So that's what I do. Look at this. Oh my gosh, it is a white cow utensil holder. He was $5.29. It's newer. Oh my gosh, it is, I absolutely love it. Look at it. I don't even, still Farmhouse. I still do all white. Definitely goes with the white creamers that I resell. Oh wow. Didn't even hesitate. He was like a grab and put in the cart kind of thing. So, our Goodwill gets some new purchase goods, some new Target returns, and this was one of them. It's just a little wire basket. It's a Home and Hearth. The Magnolia line. So this one was $3.99. So definitely, if there's something in good shape or I only have to tweak it and fix it a little bit, I usually pick up her stuff because it does resell. And for some reason on the new purchase good line, there was actually a whole bunch of these. I restrained myself that I only picked up 3. But I have actually sold little colanders like these. They were $5.29. Do you see that Pottery Barn sticker on the back? I thought, so you know that they're well made. So there was probably 8 or 10 of them when I got there. I only picked up 3. I'll probably resell them for $12, anything more than that, which is what the price tag on the bottom. But yeah, these little, they go in with my Farmhouse, my colors, little colanders. We're coming into berry season, so just nice. So yes, I have actually resold stuff like this. Look at this. It is, I know you hold a plant in there, so it's a bicycle. This was $7.29, and I actually, when it comes to outside stuff, this would be an outside stuff. I think you could have it in your house too. I probably will spray paint this black. Look, you can hardly even see it next to my gray couch. Yeah, I definitely want to make this over and make that pop, but heavy, heavy metal like that, I love items like that. And then look at this. Now I've picked up little trees like this before. This one was $7.29 also, but this one has butterflies on it. So you can just use this as a statement piece. There's the other little butterfly. Oh, this is a little butterfly. A statement piece, or you can use it as a decor piece. I love it as black and I'll leave it as is. I mean, I could go crazy and put patina on it, but I think I'm just gonna keep it basic. I think it already speaks for itself. Just a galvanized bucket, but I will keep this for myself. This is for, what was it, $4.29. I love to put plants in these. I like them to be a little bit more aged, but if I put it outside for a while, it will age. It's well on its way there. So yeah, what a great find of this size anyway. This is a great find. So for another $4.29, this was just a wooden candlestick. I can take this off. I'll probably put like a circle, make it a little bit of a tall riser for some decor. Of course, we always wish that there was two of something, but you gotta take what you're given, and there was only one. So I already like it in the black. Just add a piece of round wood, stain it. I think it will be good to go. Now I just redid a set similar to this that had the silver, made them into black, put labels on them. And now this one's in really good shape though. This is red. So, and it's red all the way in. This was $4.29, and I think I'm just going to leave it as is. I might add a label maybe for your coffee pods or what, tea, something like that, snacks, something general like that, since there was only one. Maybe when I go back, maybe there will be more. You never know. You never know. Sometimes they only do, as they're putting things out and going through, they only get one thing at a time put out. So there might be more, or this was the only one. Okay, so look at this mirror. Oh my goodness. It is heavy. It has beautiful detail on it. It just says Iron Gate Vanity Mirror. Beautiful details, $5.29. I did not want to pass this up. I'm still trying to sell a hand and hearth one in our booth right now. Then I may have to drop the price. I have two of them and I love them, but it hasn't sold yet. So I try to only have one of something in either one of our booths if possible. That way, you know, you only have one choice. So $3.29, oh my goodness, was a frog. He could hold a votive, but he loved everything about him. Can leave him as is. Somebody actually had turned in a frog collection, you could tell, because there was a lot of frogs this last week. So I have to be disciplined to decide what I'm going to pick up. So I'll have to show you my next frog. My next frog, my son even said it was Quirky. Quirky? But I couldn't help it. You'll see why. Look at this! It is a cookie jar. This was $7.29. The bottom actually says LTD. Now I'm gonna try to very gingerly clean it. It's really sticky. You know how the kitchen stuff gets sticky. And I actually think the butterfly, if I really look really close, they did an okay job gluing that back on, I think. Or maybe that's the way it was. I can't really feel anything, but the inside, oh my gosh. He is so cute. And here's a story, what I always say, if it's not meant to be. There was a matching clock that was plastic and I really wanted it, but another lady grabbed it. These had just come out on the carts. Hey, I got the cookie jar, she got the clock, we're all good. You just have to go with that sometimes. Now, these are always neat. These long pieces like this do really well. I had that long piece of wood that had the candles in it, and as soon as the day I put it in, it was gone. So I made triple my money on that. This was $6.29. Nope, these were only $4.29. But yes, look at, they just need a bath. They need a really good bath. So yeah, long pieces like this, bottles in metal like this. I usually don't have to do anything to. I don't usually put, I used to do flowers with it. That didn't help them sell any faster or any slower. So yeah, so I just leave them as is. I always have enough stuff in my hoard, in my stash, in my pickup of the week that I need to make over. So if I can keep something minimal, I will. So then for $3.29, look at this glass rooster. Oh my goodness. Now this one I know is not Murano. Got a hole. So, but for $3.29 and no chips or cracks. Yep. Right up my alley of picking up this rooster. He's so cute. So cute. Now, this was $6.29. This was just a basic bird bath. It's just, you know, your basic bird bath, just needs cleaned up. We're coming into the season, yay. I don't know about you, but winter has drug on way too long. So I was happy to find something like this, like the little bike that puts the plant in it if you want to bring it outside. Yep, or you could actually, you don't even have to use it as a bird bath. You could use it as a riser and put a plant on there too. So for $5.29, I picked up this little pottery pot. Somebody had put some felt on it. Oh yeah, this one was stamp signed. It was stamp signed. Now I'm trying to be picky with the pottery, and I had like a tortilla warmer or something a little bit shorter than this I had thrifted a few weeks ago. That sold. So then I felt, okay, well, I can buy another one, because you don't want to buy too much and then have so much in your inventory that, and then it stops selling. So I rather, if it's there and I sold a piece or I only have one or two, I try not to build, or somebody's getting a really good garage sale once a year, because you can only sell and make over so much. Now this was a neat find, and it's pink. Do you see it's pink? But for $4.29, it's a glass purse. It's a glass little bag. It's not signed or anything. I have never seen such a thing. Yeah, so glass, the blown glass usually does real well. I'm not usually a pink person. See how it clashes with my hair. I kind of look like Valentine's Day here. If you all wonder why there's not a lot of color I do, that's because of my hair. Everything I feel like it clashes. So I'm a very big neutral person. Grew up that way my entire life. I've never, other than a dig pink for volleyball, did I ever wear pink. So yes, so yeah, this was absolutely gorgeous. So I hope somebody else will love it, because I know there's a lot of people who love pink. I remember these now. Hold on, I gotta remember. It was a whole bunch of little, like the Aqua blue bottles. And I believe they all do have the cork. One fell out. It's in there. It's in there. It's in there. So yeah, it was 6 of them for $6.29. Yes, all 6 pieces. So that was a bonus, because sometimes they don't do a lot for $1.29 anymore. So a lot of it's $2.29. So I'm glad that they priced these all together, because if they priced them separately, I would have had to pass them up. So yeah, awesome find. I've definitely been adding this type of color in with that patina and that agave paint. So I definitely think, yeah, this will go. I know the pink, well, you know, the pink plays off those other 6 vases that I I can make it work. I'm a stager. I'm huge about staging. Ooh, 7. There was 7. Even better. So 7 bottles. So I'm a stager when it comes to our booth. I try to do light colors, like items together, in the hopes that visually somebody will, one, like the display and maybe buy more than one piece, or get an idea of what to do with the pieces. It's like Christmas, because I really don't remember sometimes what I picked up. So I did pick up a pottery. It's signed coffee mug. This was $2.29. Most of their coffee mugs are $2.29. My coffee mugs have been selling really well. If I find a beer mug, they also sell. So yeah, I'm definitely, and the nice thing about these is a lot of times I would like 2 of a coffee mug, but when it comes to pottery, you can group pottery all together, kind of like the Starbucks mugs. You could group all different types of Starbucks mugs together, or your Ray Dunn, you know. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily always have to be the exact match. And as I've shared with you in the past, that I do always have a haul tree, or not, I do have haul trees, but coffee mug tree in our booth. I think I'm down to 1, so I need to get a couple more painted up. So I always display them that way. Okay, let's see what's in here. I know I was just too lazy to take everything out of the bag. I've been having way too much fun crafting. Now, this is really dirty. Ugh. But for $5.29, heavy metal black, I know it just needs a bath. It needs a bath. It needs a bath. Oh my gosh, that is too funny. So yes, yep, definitely. I think somebody will love to have this, especially if I get it clean. I give it a bath, get it cleaned up. And I believe this lost its tag, but I think this was $2.29. I still do crosses, especially if they're metal and they stand. Wall, I have to be careful with wall ones. Sometimes they don't sell as fast, but if they're metal and they stand on their own, crosses do really well. I usually just do a basic black with a distressing of white, and that usually does really well. Chris ran a lot of times Chris and my son Alex have been going with us, so with me. So Chris ran across this really old and vintage Mickey Mouse book. And we didn't even notice until my son said something, it's in Spanish. Oh, so the whole book is in, we have a huge community here. So yeah, so I think it was written in 77. So yeah, that's just a nice little, I'm always looking in that section for older books or Bibles or, you know, decorating books, hardcovers. So yeah, I'm glad that Chris spied this. So yeah, yep, you can, this would probably be more of an eBay. I won't keep this one. I don't collect Mickey. Dr. Seuss, yes, but Mickey, no. But I will, yes, we'll probably do an eBay auction on this one. Let me do a little spiel here. Only trying to keep up 12 because I'm still trying to keep a booth stock, but also offer you all that watch me so faithfully something. So that way I can still keep stock for my booth. I can still offer you something. So going to try to change it out weekly when something sells, but you know, but only weekly. Yeah, I can't let that part overwhelm what comes first of us flipping items in and keeping the booth stock, but I think it's fair that I can do about 12 items on eBay and then once a week rotate changing. Either you're interested or you're not interested. I just have to do it that way. I hope that works out for everybody. So yeah, so if you want something, don't hesitate because it's only going to be there a week. If it doesn't sell, it's getting taken down. So for $6.29, look at this sun. Oh my gosh, super excited. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing some patina on this. Changing out the hanger, good idea. No, that label, just a generic label. Yep, I'm happy to run across anything that comes outside right now. You don't have to put it outside, but yes. So for, what was this one? I think this one was $5.29 because it's got some weird eyes, but I like outside statues. It is signed, it's kind of heavy. I would just like to fix those eyes so they're not scary like that. I think I could just put some of the CA glue in there and fill those in so they don't look sunken, and maybe cement paint this. Yeah, and see how that goes. The eyes are a little bit scary, but I love the concept of it and that it was signed. So let me put this down, it's heavy. This was $8.29. Just a nice home. I won't have to do anything to this and I won't do anything. There's nothing needed. So I don't do a lot of signs. I don't do a lot of things worth wording. We have a Hobby Lobby, 2 different directions from us. So even though I have a Cricut and I don't do a lot of it, and that's why, because there are a couple other people that do a lot of signage in it. So unless I see a vision for it, a lot of times I've just brought signs home. So what I like is not what somebody else likes sometimes. So, and then for $5.29, I know it seems weird. It's a little bitty ladder. Oh my gosh, it's one of these little short ladders. But if you can thrift these low enough in our area and be able to sell them for under 20 bucks, they will not last in your booth. Go above that $20 mark and then they're gonna sit. So for $5.29, I can keep it under that $20 mark. I don't have to do anything to it. I don't have to repaint it. I just have to dust the cobwebs off of it. Yeah, the people plant stands extra. This one's actually in great shape compared to the ones that I've sold before. So this was for $3.29. It was just a nice little little catch-all, paper catch-all. Super cute. I may just leave it as is because it's in great shape. It was $12.99 originally. Not even a Hobby Lobby piece. I would have thought because it's that type of wood, but yeah, no, I think it's great. About thrifting is you just never know what you're going to run across. So you can have old and vintage, you can have new purchase goods. And I like that about my booth, that we can have, I like that about our booth, that we can have a whole bunch of different array of items. So, oh, for another $2.29, here was another pottery coffee mug. Now this one, I don't think was signed anywhere. But look, it had a spoon. So it's either a spoon rest or you could drink it with your tea bag in it. So I thought that was a very neat concept. Very neat. So, yep. And since I usually do, depending, around 8 for a coffee mug. I don't go crazy. I mean, I'm making my money back plus, so yeah, I mean, I guess depending on your area, you could do 10, 12, but I don't, as I always say, I don't want to dust my booth. I don't mind dusting the shelves, but I don't want to dust the items on my booth. I reloaded with the last little bit. Actually, I mean, it's funny how I do show you the haul within like the week, but a lot of times I bring my haul items into what I consider my craft room, which is our extra bedroom where the computer is and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I determined how often I'm going to show you what I have, but if I can walk in the room or not. So if the bags and the items are taking up the whole space and I can't get to my Bowflex, then I know that I need to, I know that I need to share a haul with you and get these done. And even when some of the pieces are larger, so yeah, that takes up some space. So for $4.29, we had this cute, oh my gosh, don't need to do anything to this piece at all, just a little mirror, maybe put some, you can see my window. I want to see the sleeping cat. There's Glenn. Glenn's sound asleep over there. Yeah, he could care less than I'm sharing a haul with you. So yeah, just that was a nice find. This was $12.29, but yeah, guys, it's one of those terrarium type greenhouse thingies. I think if it's not glued in, I would really like to brighten this up. I'm not really a fan of cream. I think cream just falls between the cracks. So if I can get the glass out, I might redo it, color it. So we'll see. Okay, so then this piece was $8.29. Now I sold these pieces, so just paint them up black, distress a little bit of white on there, leave this part black, or just, yeah, either or, I don't know, I might even just leave it. So for $8.29, this one's super heavy. And the funny thing is they had it on the shelves behind a whole bunch of dishes, and I'm like, oh, I want to get to that, but I have to take all of that off to get, do you ever play a Jenga game of trying to figure out how to get to an item sometimes at Goodwill? I don't think they wanted me to find that. So for $4.29, yep, I'm not gonna pass up a watering can. No, I'll probably put a little bit of a stencil on this. I love the two-tone of the metal on there, so we will leave this as is, other than putting a little something on it. Transfer, some decoupage, whichever. Yeah, I have good luck with watering cans selling. So for $3.29, this was just a crock with one of those weeping willow trees, I guess you call them. I've seen pitberry ones like that. Yeah, I don't know. I like the colors. I like that it was a crock. So yep. I don't think it's part of a warmer or anything like that, but if it is, oh well, that's fine. Just a cute little crock. And that little birdie for $2.29 that I don't have to do a thing with because it's already cement and highlighted in white. So yep, we'll leave this right as is. Love this piece. Not that I don't like to make things over for you all, but it is nice not to have to make over everything. This was $6.29. And it's just one of those flippers where the sand will gently fall down, and it's just mesmerizing. It was a souvenir piece from Exotic Sands in Utah, but that blue just attracted me. I know you're picking up my window and everything else in my house. Oh, there we go. So yeah, just a nice, the wood is beautiful. The concept of that falling slowly. Yeah, yep. So I picked it up, whether it'll sell or not, watched Chris play with it for quite a while the other night at night. Well, it's mesmerizing just to watch. I think that's why hammocks are so nice, because you're just swaying in the wind. We really want it to warm up. This one was $4.29. So this was a shelf with some hooks, and it is an arrow. Now we put things like this in coffee bars and stuff. We have one we could do a coffee bar, but as of right now, no. So I'm not sure if just leave it. I can see it nice hanging underneath somebody's coffee bar, or just hanging somewhere. Nice to have all those little extra, a shelf and some hooks. So I don't need to do anything with that. We finished a coffee bar, and then I envisioned it in the coffee bar. I might take it out of the inventory and put it in the coffee bar, but right now we don't have one in the works. We have one purchased that we could do, but I haven't done it yet. Okay, so for all you tea lovers, I'm gonna spell out tea. The last one I did E, and everybody's like, you could do tea. Yep, you can do tea. So the last eat that was molded together that I couldn't separate, I did just some rust patina on it, and it sold right away. Thank you. And so I think I'll just do a little bit of rust patina on this, and then we can rearrange the letters in the booth to say tea for everybody. I'm a huge tea drinker too, guys, so. Oh, look at these. Oh my goodness. So these were $8.29. There's 2 of them. So I'm always excited when I find some kind of wall decor that I can make over. Yes, so I definitely will do something with those. So yeah, great, $8.29, great price. Just need to be updated a little bit. So $2.29 a piece. Are people still doing the little baskets? So I didn't pass them up, because these are definitely ones that you could do baskets on your wall. Now this one's a little bit larger than this one, and they were all $2.29 a piece, so I'll probably do $6-7 on them. Just, they're in great shape. I don't think they even look like they've been hung on a wall or anything. So yeah, it wouldn't take anything to hang these on the wall. They're so lightweight. So for $2.29, nope, this isn't a pottery one. This is a Starbucks. Yep, so this is a Starbucks mug. My son actually found this one for me, because usually I didn't know they came in. They're white. So yeah, so yep. Look at it. Oh, I remember what's in the bag now. It is kind of fun unwrapping these and showing them to you, because then I remember what I picked up. It was a set of bunnies. So we're in the season. Yeah, and they were, what were they? I think it was $2.29 for the whole little set of bunnies. So I don't know. I probably would, since it's the season, I don't see anything wrong with these bunnies. That little bunny on the shelf that hung off, that sold within no time. So, oh, here we go. It was $3.29. $3.29. I knew there was a tag somewhere. So it was signed. Somebody made these. I think they're super sweet, just as is your nice little white bunny with the pink ears and little pink nose. So, yep. I mean, yeah, I know you can cement them and you can texture paint them, and you know, so. But I think for right now, since we're almost to Easter season, we are in the Easter season, but almost to Easter, I would just do them as is. This was $4.29, just an old metal toolbox type purple handle. Got a brass, yeah, somebody painted that, but I could change that with some black paint and repaint the handle. I think they're nice. I could see putting seeds on those, gardening tool seeds. Yes, I love that concept of that. Definitely needs a bath. New in box, gotta love, yes, it is a pelican, the Cracker Barrel. But look at him. Oh my gosh, I don't want to drop him. Look at him. He's got a fish, and oh my gosh. I'll throw away the box. I'll sell him as who he is. Oh my gosh, he is so funny, pelican. Yeah, I mean, we're Michigan. We don't really have pelicans. Yeah, I don't think we do. I don't live at that kind of lake. We live at the freshwater lake. So, yeah. So, yeah. He's just, as my son says, quirky enough. Somebody, yes, oh my gosh, yep. I got this one for $7.29. So this is more of the concept of where Yeah, you can hang something a little bit easier maybe from it. Lots of ideas of plants. I really want one that I can hang like one of my old windows and make it look like the window's being hung from one of these. But that just takes time because then you have to rearrange your walls, and when you rearrange your walls, then you gotta fill in the holes, and then you gotta paint. So it's all what work I want to put into. But now I got 3 vintage. Yeah, I got 3 of them now, but yeah, this was the cheapest one at the $7.29 price. Now I picked up 3 little canisters. This is the smallest. It's still got a good seal going on there. It's the colors that I like. So here's the medium size. Even though I think, you know, they're very sweet, but the lids are kind of hard to handle. So I really would like to put a knob on them. Especially when it comes to this bigger one, it's just really hard to handle to get it open. So if you had a knob, that would make it much easier. I mean, they are sweet, but I'm gonna paint them up and put something on them. But yeah, so I think these were $7.29 for the whole set. And then I think it's my last item, guys. My last item before we get into the makeovers is this big guy. Could you have passed it up? $6.29, a big galvanized tote that needs painted. Yes. Yep, that doesn't intimidate me. I will paint you up and make you look all spiffy and new. It's a Rust-Oleum spray paint. I cannot speak. I love that stuff. That just can transform, especially if you seal that baby in. You got a product that's going to last a long time. So this week's haul, and so I hope that you're going to stay for the makeovers.
So as I'm getting things washed up, ready to get them all made over, nope, I did not expect this purplish pink to just wipe right off of these bottles once I got them soaked. So, well, they're going to be clear now. And then after I got them, all the metal all washed, you could see the rust underneath here, and that this piece was faded, so they're just going to get a new coat of Rust-Oleum paint and primer in the flat black, and then sealed in with some polycrylic. Along with this bicycle plant stand, I am just going to spray paint this up black, get it sealed in, and we will call this one done. So I'm so happy that I was able to remove the glass on this terrarium. I guess that's what I'm going to call it. So I can get it painted up. And now I'm not going to do anything fancy to this piece. I think when somebody buys it to put some plants in, I've sold them with some fake greenery or plants in them before. But I just feel like this piece just is a nice piece, and I'll let somebody do with it what they want. I will be adding a few extra items here. This is an item that I had thrifted. It is a mug tree, and I do need to get another one in our booth. So this is actually a Pioneer Woman one that I had thrifted. I'm just going to paint it up. Basic black or white is usually what I do for these little coffee mug trees. So we're just going to get this painted up and then sealed in. When I was looking for one of those mug trees, I found quite a few sets of these candlesticks that I thought, oh my goodness, I am on the short side of candlesticks that need to be black. So I got these sprayed up, and we're going to get these sealed in. And some of these are going to become risers. These ones, oh my gosh, if you remember the trip that I went to, the Birds Gotta Fly Vintage, yes, I never ran across a plate. I have been saving these since then. I took the layers of dirt off of them, and now, yep. So this is what I'm going to do. I have picked up these pieces of wood that are supposed to be risers from Hobby Lobby. They were in the 40% off, and I'm going to attach them since I never ran across anything that I felt I could put on them thrifting. I just trying to work through my inventory, so I thought these are beautiful pieces of wood. Let's get these put together and make some fun risers. So this is kind of a wood to wood kind of adhesion. I don't want to try to put any type of a brand nail, anything to nail them in. So I'm going to do Titebond wood glue, which is a nice strong glue to hold these two together. But for a quick glue, I'm going to use my CA Star Bond glue, and that's going to give it that quick 15-second hold until the Titebond sets up. So what I'm going to do here is I put the glue on. I'm spraying the piece of wood because as soon as you start to spray the glue itself, 15 seconds, it starts to dry. So spraying the item that you're going to glue to it works out perfectly. So I'm just going to hold it for that 15 seconds and then let it dry overnight. It's funny, I went to Hobby Lobby looking for the piece of wood to put on the one candlestick that I showed in this video. I ended up doing more candlesticks. So I went down looking for these pieces of wood, and then I decided I was going to put some wood on the top of these two candlesticks. I was in the process. I was waiting for paint to dry, and yep, it's just across the border in Indiana for me to go to a Hobby Lobby. So yep, I ended up picking up these pieces, and I thought, you know, I'm going to put some wood on the top of those. Still doing that wood to wood glue. Now I'm going to leave these raw to glue so it gets that nice tight bond. I don't want to stain it or anything until after I've glued it. I let these completely dry overnight. Now I'm going to go ahead and stain them. And I actually have a mixture that I left over, put in a Ziploc bag from a previous project that is actually cocoa bean Dixie Belle paint and antiquing wax. So I'm going to use up what I have. I don't like to, how about you all? I don't like to waste. So I thought I probably can stain these with that. So I'm just going to brush it on, and then I'm going to wipe the excess off using a wet wipe. But hey, here's the piece that I went to Hobby Lobby looking for a piece of wood for. Yeah, so when I did this one, I only have one of it. So when I was looking in the wood section, anything under $5 wasn't the 40% off. But I did spy this peach of birch that I thought was thick enough that I'd be able to hammer into the nail that's already there. So that's why I chose the piece of birch. And it was, I think, $6.49, so I did get the 40% off of it. Now I did seal the stained ones in and this one in also with some polycrylic to protect that wood, and then give it a light steel wool so they stayed nice and smooth. Next up is this wall decor. Now, I love the black on it, but I'm going to go ahead and spray paint it with a fresh coat since I'm going to do a black undercoat to freshen up that wood. My polycrylic is dry. Do you see that? That is a bottle of glue, not Elmer's, but the dollar store glue. So I am actually going to brush a nice heavy coat of this on the outside of the frame. Now I've run across this technique a couple times, but I've never tried it. I do like the crackle. I didn't have any luck with working with the milk paint, and that was a little bit on the expensive side. So I thought, well, $1.25 glue, let's give this a try. So nope, never ever tried this. First time here. I thought this is a perfect project. It's not a lot of wood that I have to do, so I have to put a nice even coat on, but a little bit on the heavy side. You want your paint to have that top layer dried, but not to be dry all the way through. So it just suggested, this is my Pinterest searching, that you take a blow dryer just so that the glue and the paint don't necessarily mix, that there's that outer crusty, layer that will prevent the two from mixing. Then after that, I've got that, what I consider is dry enough, I'm going just with my Kills of Paint and Primer, my favorite white, and yes, I'm just putting a nice heavy coat on, I'm going to say, because this is going to be a one coat coverage. It's going to be, it is what it is kind of thing. You can see as it's drying, it's already starting to crackle, so it is actually working really well. I'm helping it along with the blow dryer. I'm not really sure if you just let it air dry or Yeah, I bet it would probably still do it, but you know, I'm impatient and I can't wait to see. So I had the blow dryer in hand. So yes, it is actually working. I can kind of tell where I didn't have it completely even of the glue underneath, but you know what? I kind of like that look. I'll just go ahead and help it dry along, and then I can sand some of the areas. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and seal it in with some polycrylic after letting it completely dry overnight. Now, next up is this big guy. Oh my gosh, I was so super excited to see that. Do you all stay away from pieces like this when you see them in the thrift store and you see that wear on them? They definitely can be saved. So after doing a little bit of sanding, after getting it cleaned, I'm spraying those rusted areas with shellac. A couple coats, and that's going to prevent that from bleeding through. So I like to give pieces like this a enamel wear look, but my version of enamel wear. So I'm going to go ahead in the basic black, that Rust-Oleum paint and primer in one is just a great product to cover metals. So just a nice even coat on the whole thing inside and out. So this is why I say it's my version. I'm not going to paint the inside of this white. I'm going to leave it black, but I'm going to very gingerly, where that is rolled, try to make my line with a fan brush and paint everything else on the outside white, but the handles and the label. After a total of 3 coats to cover, I'm going to seal it in with some more polycrylic. Now next up are these crosses, and I had a good idea that I was just going to do them my basic underneath black, do them white, but I absolutely love those patinas. With a small paintbrush, I'm just going to add some of this aqua blue patina. It's just called patina, that's all. And so all I'm going to do, there's little bitty flowers and little bitty areas on these crosses that I can accent by using this. So I'm just going to go in, with a little bit of paintbrush I've used this for patinas before, so it's kind of spread out, but oh my gosh, look at how automatically it just makes it pop. Absolutely love combining them. So now I have the rust one. There's some other details that I want to make pop. Then if you want your colors to look separated, you can leave it as is, but I like to use the silver wax just ever so slightly using one of those Dollar Tree stencil brushes, and that just ties it all together. And I'll always go back in and tweak it just a little bit. If the rust color looks just too rusty, you can always put a little bit more of that patina on there, and it kind of makes a green aged effect. So that's all I'm doing, is just going back in and doing just a little bit more. Oh my goodness, I absolutely can you see why I'm obsessed with doing these? It's always funny when you start something, what your plan is and what you actually end up doing. So let's get this one painted up with a new paint job of black and seal it with some polycrylic so we can play with the patinas on this piece. That is definitely why I've always loved the white and distressing, that it makes all these little details pop. But these patinas, oh my gosh, do they ever do. So I'm going in with that aqua. There's that beautiful flower in the middle of this. And so I'm just doing a downward, just a little bit of the patina goes a long way. And as you see, I'm using that stencil brush again, and then I'm just letting it hit those edges of those flowers, and it automatically is just making them pop. For what I'm doing to accent, it's really a very dry brushing technique. These patinas are definitely, the ones I'm using right now are dry. So all I'm doing is using those brushes that have been flared out, if not a Dollar Tree stencil brush, and just really letting it hit all those sharp edges on these details. And that's just really making them pop. And yet again, if this is the look you like, you can stop and you're finished, but I do love blending a little bit with this silver wax. It just definitely ties those two colors together without changing them. Now next up is this beautiful flowered sun. Oh my goodness. So going in to spray paint it, there's kind of like an angle you have to hit to be able to get that hole underneath petal. So I'm just making sure that I'm getting into that little crevice as I'm spraying, and then definitely sealing this in with polycrylic. Unlike the first two that I did with a combination of the rust patina and the patina in that bluish color, I am going to start out with the bluish color on this, but I'm not going to be using the rust color on this. I want this sun to be bright and I want it to pop. So I'm just going in with that stenciling brush, the same thing, just letting it hit the edge of the petals. Going to be using a combination along with this other patina, and as you see, it is much brighter, well deserving of a sun. So same thing, this one is much thicker, it's much more condensed, so I'm definitely making sure that I'm doing a dry brush technique, and I'm doing that same thing where I'm just going from the outside edge of the petal, working my way in. Now I'm going to go back with that other patina one and work my way in. So as you see, there's a natural curve going with this, so I'm just going to keep mixing the two until I love the outer edge of the petals. When it comes to the sun's face, I'm going to use the much brighter patina on all the detailed edges of this face, these little buttons that go around the eyebrows, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and just highlight them, and then I'll go back in with that lighter patina and blend it in. Little did I know when I started this video that this was going to be a lot of patinas, but I'm absolutely loving how they transform a piece. But first, I'm going to fill in these little eyes. I don't know what it is about those eyes being hollowed out that creep me out, so I'm just using a little bit of wood filler to fill in those eyes. After a little bit of shellac spray to seal in that wood filler, I'm going to go ahead and get this painted with the same Rust-Oleum black paint. And you guys probably always wonder, how many cans do I go through? If you're constantly moving and having it on a turntable, I really think after I was all said and done, I only went through 2 cans. I am serious. As long as you keep moving around. And yes, 2 full cans is what I went through to make all these items over. And for the polycrylic, nope, I didn't even go through a full can. If you're constantly moving, stepping back far enough, not getting too much product, it really is made to go a long way. So I was checking out those wood pieces at Hobby Lobby. I decided to go look to see what kind of patinas they had in the rub and buff line. I don't mind this rub and buff line at all. And then I kind of spied this color and I was like, well, what is that? So I went to my phone because it really didn't show. You just kind of had to guess. And I'm like, oh, a copper, an aged copper. Oh my gosh, wait till you see how this transforms this piece. I was really just going to paint it up cement. Wasn't really sure how that was going to look because look at all those details I would have had to get into. Yeah, not so fun. So, yep, just doing this copper. Look at that. Oh my goodness, guys. Just one of those Dollar Tree stencil brushes yet again. A little bit of this goes a long way, and it is just popping the details on this little boy and girl. Oh my goodness. No, this is supposed to be a garden piece, an outside piece, so I'm going to go ahead and put a couple coats of polycrylic in the hopes to seal it in. Now next up is this 3-piece canister set. I'm going to get the labels removed off the bottom, get these all washed up, and get these sprayed up with that same Rust-Oleum paint to give my outer paint something to grab onto. And I'm also going to be making over the lids, spraying them, sealing them in with the polycrylic also on both sides. Now you notice I taped off the inside of my canister set because I want to keep that food safe. I don't want to paint the inside. That's why I'm always looking for a certain color that matches what I like to paint. So now I like to make my canister sets a lot look like old Crocs. They're not, but they're going to look like they are. So using the baking soda and paint mixture, which is a 50-50 ratio, whichever paint you want, you don't necessarily have to use chalk. So I just get it mixed up really well, and then I try to always put it on in this going around the container itself, going in the same direction. So it definitely looks like that vintage Croc look. When it comes to the second coat, to make sure that I am good and covered, I don't put any more baking soda. I add a little bit more of the paint in with it, and I'm using Waverly's chalk paint in the fawn color. So yep, I just wanted to let you know when I go to the second coat, you don't need to add any more texture. It's got plenty of texture, but I just want to make sure that they are covered. Next step is really going to make these look like real Crocs. So first I've got to clean up my outer edge. So see where it's a little bit, you get to that gunk buildup. That's why I tape off. There's none of that underlying Rust-Oleum paint that's going to help it adhere really well. So I'm just taking some sandpaper, sanding that off, make sure that my edge is nice and smooth. And now we're going to be using some Waverly, just the wax, the white wax. And I know this kind of has a yellow tint to it, but it works out perfect for making what I want to look like old Crocs. So at first I'm just going to apply it with my big Annie Sloan waxing brush and just get it on all over this piece. Notice after doing this so many times, you want to get that white wax on the entire piece as fast as you can because it really starts soaking into that chalk paint. I'm going to just take a rag and wipe off any of the excess. And this is just blending it all in. As I got that first layer of wax on all these crocks, there was just something that I just really was loving the color, but I can kind of see the stripage from going up and down. So I decided that, you know what, I'm not going to use any antiquing wax. A lot of times when I'm doing these, I have a mold. I want to bring the details out, and the antiquing wax definitely pops those. So, but this time I'm just going to go ahead and go in the other direction, getting rid of those lines. Now, after my wax is dried, I want to add a little bit of detail now. These are Jamie Ray Vintage stencils, and I just want to use that Pottery Co. on this acorn. So, yep, the fun of stenciling on a round object using lots of tape. And nope, the tape didn't necessarily want to stick to the waxed object so well, but I'm just using a little bit of the Waverly ink chalk paint. I got a lot of tape on there. I'm holding it down, very dry brush of getting these letters colored. After getting all three of them with that Pottery Co. stencil, it was nice because I had a starting point where the arch was on the stencil to be able to measure down for each one of these pieces. And now you can actually either sell them as a set, or I'll probably sell these separately as containers. But I am getting them sealed in with a good coat of polycrylic. Another reason I'm glad that Hobby Lobby is close, I needed some type of knobs, and the only knobs that I have that drill into a object are porcelain ones, and I didn't really think that they'd paint nice, and I didn't think they'd go with these crocks. So I found these. I had like one option. These were it. Luckily, they were the color that I wanted. $3.99. Yep, they were the 40% off. Yay! You never know when you go into Hobby Lobby what the cycle of what's going to be on sale. But that, especially that bigger lid, it just was too awkward to try to grab. So Chris is going to be drilling a hole in the center for me to put these knobs. These have the holes drilled in. I can go ahead and finish them up. So I'm going to do a little bit of distressing on this outer edge just to show the wood underneath, and then I'll steel wool the entire piece, making sure that it's nice and smooth, and then finish it up with some antiquing wax to give it a little bit of age to go with that crock. Have some pieces that aren't going to be spray painted black. I'm sure I'm surprising you all, but I'm going to get the tag removed off of these letters that create E or T, whichever one the buyer wants them to do, and I'm going to add just a little bit of the Rust Patina to these letters. It's already got that aged going onto this galvanized. I just want to help it along a little bit more. The bigger container of rust definitely has a texture to it, but we all know rust bumps up, so that is the fun of it all. So yep, I'm just going to go random places where I think that maybe here or there it would rust on its own, and then after getting that applied to where I want to really give it that real rust look, I'm going to use the other smaller jar of rust over it. And then this time after I got it all done, I thought, you know what, I knew that they sold a brown patina one, but I haven't purchased it yet. I thought I'm going to take a little bit of my antiquing wax and just take it up a notch. Well, we finally made it to the last makeover, and it's this little toolbox, this galvanized box that somebody had definitely taken some type of marker and made it purple inside, and that is as clean as I could get it, so it's got its own nice patina. So I'm going to go ahead and use some Waverly ink chalk paint, a couple coats of this to cover up that purple in the inside. Now, I thought about putting seeds on this, and then I rethought that, going, well, maybe a guy would want this. Maybe he doesn't want it to say seeds. So I think just some random numbers that don't really mean anything, just kind of give a little bit of added detail, added visual to this piece. So yep, I'm just using some numbers. This is a little stamp pad that I had bought off of Amazon that just is some a little bit smaller numbers than my IOD typesetting stamps. So I'm just using some packing tape to hold it, and then I'm using the IOD ink to ink it up. And then yep, I know my fingers are always a mess, guys. So yep, I'm just going to use this as my mount to be able to apply it to this little box. Sealing the inside of the box, and on this stencil I'm going in with just some polycrylic to finish this piece up. Okay, so I forgot about this this little watering can. So I'm just going to be using one of the IOD transfers on there. I didn't have to paint it up. I didn't really have too much to do. I just wanted to add a little bit of something. So I chose the purplish blue transfers of these just because I didn't want it to take away from that beautiful handle and that copper accent on this watering can. So yep, I'm just going to transfer this on, rub it on, and we are going to seal it in with a little bit of the Varathane finishing wax and call this good. Just a little bit of accent.
So I hope you enjoyed this week's haul and this week's makeovers. Let me know what your favorite find that I found this week when I was out thrifting, and also let me know which one it was that I made over. I love sharing this with you. I'm so excited that you guys all like to see what I find throughout the week and what I like to make over. So thanks for watching today's video, guys. And as always, if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you're new and you're checking out our content for the first time and you liked what you saw, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know we've uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what I'm up to. Bye!